Hi, this is Guy Picciotto, and I'm here to talk about George Xylouris. I met George, I think, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, maybe 2013, 2014, something like that. I'd been friends with Jim White, the drummer in Dirty Three, for a while. We'd met in New York and had become friends and had done some collaborations together. He'd started playing with George in a duo they called Xylouris White. They had a gig booked near my house, and I went and saw them play their first show. I remember just being in that room, listening to them play, and just being astonished. I mean, for those who don't know, George comes from a really legendary musical family. His father's Serendanis and his uncles, Yanis and Nikos, are all legends of Greek folk music and known for reinvigorating the form and also for their political stances against the Greek military junta of the late 60s and 70s. They're known for their innovations, and as a result, the family and the name are known certainly all over Greece, all over Crete, and around the world. The name Xylouris has enormous resonance and weight. But that's not anything I knew when I first saw them that night. When I first saw George play that night, I was just mesmerized by his playing and also his intuitive rapport with Jim and the sound they created as a duo. So I said after the show, I was like, why don't you guys come by my house and let's just record some stuff and see what happens. And in the time since then, we've worked on 4-5 records worth of stuff together. We've done soundtracks together. We've done film collaborations together. It's just become one of the most fruitful and exciting kind of musical things that ever kind of a great serendipity that it just lined up, and then we all clicked. And I've gotten to know George as a person and as a musician more and more, and he's one of the most warm human beings I've ever met, but also just an astonishing musician with so much skill, but also so much curiosity and willingness to experiment and explore. It's been wonderful to get to know him in that way. And as a result, I've learned a lot more about where he comes from. And despite being kind of the bearer of these traditions, he's also someone who's expanding them all the time in the moment and pushing forward, trying to see what other avenues and ideas can be expressed through the instrument and through the voice and through his style of playing and his reinvention of the instrument. The Cretan lute, which is his main instrument, as well as the lyra, and rethinking how those instruments are used in music and in his own work. It's pretty wild. And he's someone who will play back in Crete. He'll play weddings, and he'll play sometimes for days at a time, literally, with enormous stamina, the ability to play for hours and hours on end, and with a physicality that is, every bit as intense as Black Flag or anything else I've ever seen. Like just a real intense physical commitment. That takes a toll, but he can be a real machine when he's playing, and it's startling and awe-inspiring for me to see. And he's also a poet and a very, very counterintuitive thinker. And I often think about a lot of the things that he said long after, and it's changed the way I think about music a lot. I remember when we were working on one song that we must have tracked, 30 times with different rhythms and different approaches, and we just always come back to it and we always work on it, and we have yet to get it in a sense. But then he was talking about the myth of Sisyphus in relation to this record that Jim and George had done, the Sisypheans, and he was discussing that myth of Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill, and his interpretation was completely radical to me in the sense that he was talking about it not as a horrible repetitive labor, but as an opportunity as you push the boulder up the hill to discover new things each time you go up, a different rock, a different way the sun is hitting the surface of the hill, different animals that might come out to watch you. And then and it made me think a lot about when you are involved in music or you're involved in learning music or repeating things or working on things, that it's not a beat your head against the wall type exercise. It's an opportunity to always find new angles and new approaches. And I think that's what George is a master at. And it's exciting to me that he's done this collaboration with Bonnie Prince Billy and Bill Callahan, because to me that's just another step up the hill with another chance to see a different refraction or a different angle on what he can do, and it's beautiful.